Apologies, you're probably not going to see crap tonight. Today we are in search of another supermarket. I hear there's actually one pretty close that has maybe a better selection of shampoo and whatnot. But we're going to talk about some other stuff while we're walking. What are we going to talk about, you might ask? The answer is politics. Clint, you can't talk about politics, you're in China. Yes, I can. I just can't talk about Chinese politics. Which is fine. I'm not going to be talking about Chinese politics, I'm going to be talking about American politics. Or more specifically about American, political theory, I suppose. See, as I teach class, interact with Chinese students, interact with Chinese co-workers, and generally walk around the city. It's not a particularly big city in China. It's only 1.5 million people. I'm continually reminded of, and don't get mad when I say this, what separates China now from the rest of the, well, not the rest of the world, from America. And the answer is socialism. Yep, socialism separates the United States from China. Now, here's the thing, and I'm a disclaimer. If you are a super conservative individual and you are watching this, I'm about to piss you off. If you have certain ideas about the role of government, I'm about to piss you off. Here's the thing. All of the conceptions that people have about China being some kind of huge socialist, master country are complete bullshit. If you think that, you're an idiot. The China you were thinking of never existed. Because here's the thing. Every evil, wealth redistributing socialist program you decry, doesn't exist here. There's no social security. There's no universal health care. There's no evil EPA, no evil, OSHA. Actually, there is a Chinese version of OSHA. It just has no rules to enforce. So the thing is that all the socialist programs that people bitch and complain about in, the United States, they don't exist here. This is like the opposite at this point of a socialist country. And as a matter of fact, this country does actually very, very well, represent a predominant socio-economical theory. It's called, Kantism. Immanuel Kant, what the hell am I doing? Rand. Ayn Rand. This is an Ayn Rand economy, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to see what the United States would look like without an EPA, without an OSHA, without any number of socialist programs that are legitimately socialist. Here you go. Come to China. Honestly speaking, I think I legitimately think a lot of the people who bitch about, the United States turning into a socialist state should come to China. They'll probably like it. Then they'll be horrified, then they'll leave. And maybe shut the hell up. I know I sound very angry when I talk about this, but honestly speaking, this is really what separates the United States and developed nations from non-developed nations, is socialist programs. China's infrastructure is under construction, but still pretty bad. Pretty much the only area that they they beat us in is transportation. And it's not even this better than U.S. transportation. Their high-speed rail, the highest speed rail in the world, has to go at about a third of its actual speed because the tracks were made shittily. Corruption is rampant here because there's no oversight. This is literally a capitalist paradise. No safety standards, because their opinion is if you get hurt on the job, you just sue the person. You probably lose, but, whatever. That's a hotel. I've had this discussion with literally about 300 students at this point, maybe, about what China has to do to become a really, westernized, developed country. And that's the answer, ladies and gentlemen. Actual socialist programs. They really are the difference between a very large third world country. China is on the cusp of not actually being what we would consider a third world country, which is a vastly outdated term, by the way. A developed nation. It's what we would call a newly developed nation in political science, according to my mother. In geography, we would call it a peripheral nation. Although, oddly enough, there are peripheral nations to this peripheral nation, which is generally the sign that you're almost not a peripheral nation. The point of this long-winded ramble is that China, I like this country so far. I love the people here. I actually think the people here are friendlier than Japanese people. Maybe not as polite, but it is a great example of what a certain portion of the American conservative, conservative is the correct term. It's a good representation of what a certain portion of the American Republican Party wants America to look like. When Donald Trump says, and I'm really not going to pick on Donald Trump that much, when Donald Trump says, make America great again, I'm assuming what he means is make it look like China. People who complain about, American companies being really forced to send jobs overseas because it's just cheaper to do business in China. Well, of course it's fucking cheaper to do business in China. China has no safety standards. China has terrible air quality, terrible water quality. If you're an American company and you want to compete with Chinese companies in America, your only real option is to attempt to turn America into China. That's it. Just lower wages, terrible air quality, whatever. Someplace has to make the low wage stuff, and we're gonna have to choose at some point between maybe those companies not making as much money on the products, which is why stuff is so cheap here in China, on top of the low wages, or every place looking like China. And yes, there is a way to balance everything to where you can make, affordable products with good air quality, good water quality, and all that. It's called, maybe the CEOs and stockholders of those companies don't make so much. They make money, of course. But just, I hate to bitch on corporate greed because nobody opens up a business to make money. But this is one of the important reasons that we really shouldn't have money in politics, is because, if you're a company and you're trying to make money and you find a way to make money, why wouldn't you take it? Because apparently businesses are super short-sighted. Yeah, thanks.